We got a little rumour roundup for you today. I'm not saying this is gospel. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen. These are just the West Ham rumours that have been circulating within the last 24 hours. There's a lot of them. And I actually think there's a little bit of substance to a couple of them, by the way. And some of them, well, like Callum Wilson, are just absolute nonsense. We'll leave Mohamed Kudus for another day, I think. I think that's got a lot to unfold. I think even if we just sit on it, let it percolate, the news I'm talking about, for another 24 hours, I'm sure we'll find out a little bit more about Mohamed Kudus. So we got some Spurs after Jarrod Bowen. We have got Antonio. We got some Max Kilman and a swap deal, bit of Ben Johnson stuff, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've got a few things to discuss today, and I'll try and get it wrapped up as quickly as possible, so as I waste as little of your time on this, well, bloody sunny day, really. Too hot, really, isn't it? Before I do, just want to say a massive thank you to our sponsor, our eternal sponsor, it seems, ETC Sports. Now, a lot of you will see the logo up there. I don't know where it is. I should know, really. It's always in the same spot, isn't it? Who are ETC Sports? I want to tell you, first of all, they're my mates. And second of all, the West Ham fans. And thirdly, they are just a bunch of bloody good people who have been sponsoring and big supporters at Hammers Chat. I just wanted to give them a shout out because they continue to support us, continue to sponsor us, and we're really buzzing about it, really delighted about it, actually. I'll tell you what they do. They basically make 3G football pitches and sports surfaces. That's what they do. So, I don't know, maybe you're like a caretaker, maybe you're somebody that's in charge of some football pitches, from five-a-side football pitches, something like that. Maybe you're in charge of getting some tennis courts done or something like that at a leisure centre, at a school, a five-a-side power league or anything like that. Maybe you're just minted, you've got some tennis courts in your back garden. But if you have, then you can do a lot worse than going and checking out ETC Sports. The link's in the description below. The link is always in the description of every video. You probably see their vans driving around sometimes, ETC Sports. Every time I see one, safely, not whilst driving, obviously, I take a photo of it and I send it off to the boss of ETC Sports. So, hey, see one of your vans today. Lovely, lovely people. Go and check it out if that's something that might be of interest to yourselves. Okay, let's get on with Jarrod Bowen. 150 million. Oh, no, hold on, let me get this absolutely right. Tottenham are interested in Jarrod Bowen. Rewind a little bit. Tottenham interested in Jarrod Bowen. Approached West Ham. And the rumour was that there had been high-level contact. Not talks, because I think that the talks were over as quickly as they'd ended. High-level contacts. What I mean by that, it's not like... Sounds like a mixed martial arts takedown, doesn't it? It was basic board level between the two clubs. Tottenham said we're interested in Jarrod Bowen. Apparently West Ham said do one. We're not interested, we're not selling him under any circumstances. But, if we did, it'd be 150 million. I'm not sure. Look, these are all rumours. You don't know how much of this stuff is true. I'd like to think if that conversation happened, they wouldn't have done the £150 million bit. Because that's sort of saying, well, you can have him if you pay a certain amount of money. Don't get me wrong, I also think there's a point where it's pricing him out of the market. There's no way Tottenham can afford to spend £150 million a player. I think quite possibly an FFP at the moment, or PSR, nobody can afford to spend £150 million on a player. By the way, this PSR stuff stinks. It absolutely stinks. I hate it. I hate it. It's sort of... We've done pretty well in the last 2 or 3 years. We've got money in the bank. We've had a good run in Europe. And we can't spend our money, basically. And, yeah, it's overly penal. But you know what I mean by penal? Obviously not. Bloody hell. Look, apparently... After the Euros, after the European Championships, Tottenham are going to come back with a more serious offer or more serious talks are planned or intended or whatever. Forget it, jog on. Was Danny Dyer, not the missus, the dad, granddad Dyer. I think he said recently, I saw a clip and he went, he was talking about Bowen and he said, I can't have him going to Tottenham. I don't want him to go to Tottenham. I paraphrase, he said something along those lines. Quite right too. I echo those sentiments. Michail Antonio. Now, Michail Antonio was on the pitch, didn't see the game, apparently on the pitch, Jamaica, Mexico. I think Mexico won 1-0. Edson Alvarez got injured, we've already discussed it. And Antonio is the subject of interest from Nottingham Forest. Obviously, we signed him from Nottingham Forest back in 2015. I think we signed him at about 7-odd million. I don't know how much we'd get for him. We're in a situation where Julen Lopetegui tried to get him when Lopetegui was head coach at Wolves. So I don't know how much truth there is in this. But I do wonder how happy Michail Antonio is at West Ham. I mean, he's spoken about leaving before. He's agitated for a move. Never mind about that. But he's been quite open about it. His mental health's not been that great. He said there have been times that he wished he was injured so he couldn't play. So, yeah, look, I mean, he's been a great servant to the club. And I hope Michail Antonio does what's best for Michail Antonio, quite frankly. His wages will be a problem for Forest. There's no doubt about that. I do wonder if there's a little swapsy-wopsy, maybe. I've got at least 3 players who I would be interested in over there. So we'll see. We'll know a lot more on that one. It feels, some of these transfer rumours, like the Callum Wilson, I won't talk about it anymore. Callum Wilson to West Ham. It's a rumour, I won't talk about it anymore. It seems like nonsense, right? Some of them just feel real, don't they? And I've got to say, that's got a real feel about it, that one. Max Kilman, right, you know who this guy is. Here's the story. We bid once, 25 million, got rejected. We made a second bid, and that's not relatively new news. That was 3-4 days ago. But it came with a twist. So Fabrizio Romano, who I'm now informed is an influencer rather than a journalist. He has influenced, I guess, he's influenced my opinion on it anyway, because he has suggested the little transfer twist that actually the second bid was an amount of money and a player. Oh, that's mysterious. Don't like mystery generally, but then I did quite enjoy it because I was trying to guess who the player was. Some people say, and it's complete guesswork. Have a little guess yourself if you want. You might know by now by the time I upload this. Some were saying Zuma, some were saying it might be Maxwell Cornet. So I'm thinking outside the box a little bit, actually. Look, you all know what I think about Zuma and his knees and medicals and that. We've discussed it time and time again on this channel. So, not so sure. But, again, this one feels serious. I am pretty damn sure we'll get Max Kilman. There you go. Do I know? Not at all. Feels right, though, doesn't it? Feels like it's... I don't know, things just have a different vibe about them when it's genuine interest, and I think this one is. So I think we're going back with a third bid. I don't know whether the bid... It may well be that the bid for the player... See, nobody knows unless you're in the deal. Maybe, just maybe, the breakdown is slightly different than we're told. Maybe it's a set amount of money and a player. Maybe they've turned around and said, we like the player, but we need a bit more money. So maybe it will still be a swap deal. Maybe they might say, well, actually, we quite like the deal, but don't want the player. Give us another player. Give us Thomas Souček instead, or whatever the case may be. I made that up. We don't need any more rumours, do we? Really? Okay. Elephant in the room. Ben Johnson. I don't want to overly discuss it. Ben Johnson looks like signing for Ipswich, and when it happens, I'll do a video about it because I really, really like Ben, and I'm not massively delighted about what's happened and how it's happened. So. Look, we'll speak about that in more detail as and when, but it sort of brings us on quite nicely to another player, a right-back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Villa, might be a waste of time talking about him because apparently he's off to Fenerbahce, but I think if Fenerbahce can get him, why can't we? I mean, we've been linked to him as well. I think he's a good player. I really do. I think, he was a £50 million pound player. He never was, but I do think he was a £30 million pound player. And if you can get him now for 12 million, which is the price, I think it's pretty damn good. Because he was so good so young, you often look at him and think he's been around forever, but he's 26. Well, that's okay. That's plenty young enough. I think Wan-Bissaka might be... I think he's been unlucky. I think he's been unfortunate with managers. I think he's been... Maybe he was never a Manchester United player. Do you know what I mean? Maybe... He didn't have that superstar quality. But that don't mean he's no good for West Ham, that's for sure. I'll be very interested. Would it be the way that Lopetegui would like to play? I don't know. But, I mean, the trouble is with Johnson, I'm going to slip into talking about it. I was going to leave it, and I will leave it. But it creates a situation, another position to fill, which we already had a lot of players to try and bring in anyway. And we're going to have to do it with taking some money out of the kitty rather than not having to, if you know what I mean, because we're not getting any money for Johnson. He's leaving on a free, so there you go. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I would not be adverse to that at all. There you go, right. I mean, I flow as quickly as I can through that. There's other stuff. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff on a busy old day of transfer rumours. So there you go. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'd be interested to know. Here's the thing today. Yesterday, by the way, I said, give me Give me your guilty revelations. I started a video yesterday with some omissions. I cleansed myself. Do you know what I mean? I said, come on, tell me. Not many people said stuff. Not many people said stuff. So, play the game, will you? So let me know who you think the secret trade player is. It might. Do you know what? And even if by the time you've watched this video you've already found out, make one up. All right. Let's. We've got to do something to keep ourselves occupied, right?